If you ever had any real serious questions about what is important to know in the year 2024, things that genuinely can affect your future, the things you really need to know, the last place you're ever going to turn is Rachel Maddow or the broader psychological experiment that is happening on MSNBC. I know that, but I want to look there anyway, man, because as you guys already know, Donald Trump, he appeared in criminal court yesterday and today to start putting an 8-year-old process crime misdemeanor behind him. And here are the takeaways, according to Rachel Maddow.
Here, the wheels of justice grind slowly. I did not think they would grind so slowly that they would rock the defendant apparently to sleep at the defense table today. I mean, I have to say, I was not there. I do not know if he was asleep. It is possible he was, meditating or just resting his eyes or something. I don't know. But that's those headlines, on the front page of the New York Times, front page of the Washington Post, front page of the Huffington Post, front page of multiple news outlets today coming out of this, that Trump appeared to fall asleep on the first day of his trial. Those are going to stick. I mean, I know it's not the most important legal thing, but we are in the middle of a campaign, and the age issue is the main thing the Trump campaign wants to use against his opponent. The whole Sleepy Joe thing. I mean, this is, as you said, Ari, this is the most historic thing that Donald Trump has ever done. No former president ever has been a criminal defendant. And on day one, the headlines coming out of it are that he appeared to doze off. And to me, that's just, it's insane. It's also a reminder of how scary, however scary and somber and important this is. We're also dealing with somebody who is just fundamentally buffoonish. And this will be as much a reminder of that as it is of all the more serious things here that are at stake.
Yeah, so obviously these are not serious people, right? Rachel Maddow especially is not a serious person. And I got to hand it to her, man. She has made a very, very good living of literally destroying the minds of anyone dumb enough to trust her. And I did a video yesterday where I said the last thing the media will ever do is actually talk about the merits of this case. They'll talk about gag orders and porn stars and talk about Trump threatening judges' kids. They will talk about anything and everything they possibly can except for the actual case. Because the last thing that they want is for anyone who made the mistake of turning on MSNBC to actually understand this case. And honestly, that said, it's strange to me that this is the angle they would take. They want to talk about age. They say Trump wants to talk about Biden's age, and here he is falling asleep. I wasn't there. There's no cameras allowed. No one credible has actually said it. But I'm saying it now, and that makes it good enough and true enough for MSNBC. So like I said, they will not tell their viewers anything close to the truth. They're not going to bring on any serious legal analysts. They're not going to talk about any serious legal questions. They will not even try to explain how an expired misdemeanor turns into 34 felonies just months before a presidential election. But they do understand that you've heard this talk about a two-tiered justice system, so they figure they better explain it. And who better to explain it than some random pop singer married to a crazy person?
Well, he is a part of a two-tier system of justice, but not in the way that he thinks he is. Mm-hmm. He is getting way more concessions than the average criminal defendant would get. He's getting delays. He's got access to all kinds of lawyers that are filing this and filing that, delaying every trial. And most people don't have access to that kind of lawyering, don't have access to the kind of concessions that the justice system will provide to you if you can afford it.
If you can afford it. You can catch the...
Even after watching that a couple times, I'm not entirely sure what John Legend is advocating for here. It sounds like he envisions a world more like Joe Biden envisioned when he wrote the '94 crime bill, a bill that took advantage of the poor and indigent animals on the streets, as Joe called them, but what he meant was black people. It sounds like John Legend doesn't really care much for our system, a system that allows lawyers to fight for someone that just had a misdemeanor upgraded to a felony. 34 of them, actually. And, every time I hear these people talk, I always think, what would propagandists like these current people we have, what would they think about someone like John Adams? And, John Adams, he said the most patriotic thing he ever did was defend British soldiers accused of murder. And actually, now that I say that, I think that they'd still probably find a way to make Adams the villain, of course. I mean, he's white and he's straight, so he's the villain for sure. But they would definitely still find a way to cheer the British, which it's got to be tough to be a leftist. I don't know how they keep their logic straight, especially with the aptitude that they all have. But anyway, I don't know how they keep it straight. That said, you guys get it. They'll gossip about Trump sleeping. They'll have John Legend on to explain justice. But here's something they will never in a million years ever show their viewers.
Thank you very much. We had some amazing things happen today. As you know, my son is graduating from high school, and it looks like the judge will not let me go through the graduation of my son, who's worked very, very hard. He's a great student. He's very proud of the fact that he did so well, and was looking forward for years to have graduation with his mother and father there. And it looks like the judge isn't going to allow me to escape this scam. It's a scam trial. If you read all of the legal pundits, all of the legal scholars today, there's not one that I see that said this is a case that should be brought or tried. It's a scam. It's a political witch.
Look, man, love the guy or hate the guy, agree with everything he said or don't agree with anything, it doesn't really matter. Anyone who's actually paying attention can agree, at least all but the most truly Trump deranged can agree. This is a scam. It's an 8-year-old misdemeanor upgraded through basically legal magic for one reason and one reason only. Donald Trump is running for president again. And anyone with anything even resembling intellectual integrity knows that if Trump didn't run, this case doesn't happen, right? And I got news for the whole no one is above the law, vote blue no matter who crew. This is not how justice works. This is how justice fails. And, this really is history-making stuff. That might be the one thing the folks on MSNBC got even close to right.
Is a day where we're seeing history in the making. How do you read it?
Well, I preferred the solar eclipse last week. Now we're in a really tawdry case. The fact that we're bringing up all the hush money payments and porn star, or what do we call it, all over again. I think it matters, though. It's really pointing to, once again, that Donald Trump's character doesn't exist. That there's a bit of shamelessness. He's misogynistic. He attacks people's families. He knows no bounds, and he tries to behave in an authoritarian manner.
It's groundbreaking stuff, man. This is like Pulitzer level stuff. If you're the viewer of MSNBC, you have absolutely no clue what this New York case is about. All you know is that Orange Man is bad. And just a quick reminder, he's old and he's sleepy and he's misogynistic and he'll attack your family. And he dozed off in the most authoritarian way possible. He is everything evil in modern day America all wrapped into one. He's old, he's white, he likes women without actually being a woman. And like they said, he has no character. And just think about that for a second. He's so old that he can't stay awake and he has no character. And this is exactly why the viewers of MSNBC have got to be studied, man. They all heard those things. And I would bet you that 0 people actually thought, well, hey, hold on. That sounds an awful lot like Joe Biden. And I mean, here's some hard truth. If you have a problem with the age and character of Donald Trump and you plan to vote for Joe Biden, your brain is broken. You're absolutely broken. And if you want any chance at fixing it, you got to start now, or you're going to end up just like this guy.
There will be a circus because, as usual in this system, Trump is treated, as you explained, to a different standard than everybody else, right? If this was any other person, Trump would be wheeled into the courthouse on the Hannibal Lecter gurney, all right? Because he can't keep his mouth shut.
Again, man, it's an 8-year-old misdemeanor that literally no one cares about. It was upgraded to multiple felonies that not one of those people can explain the same way, and was only charged at all because it's Donald Trump and he dared to run for president. And the guy thinks that he's getting special treatment. Well, I mean, he's correct. He is getting special treatment. This is clearly selective and political special persecution. There's no doubt about that. There's no really other way to describe it, right? I said yesterday, this is the left overplaying their hand. And if they find a way to survive their own insane actions, they will be the only ones that do. They will be the only ones that survive it. The rest of us, the America we think we have, will not survive. But that's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.